Just letting you know, this is only my spoiler first impressions of the episode. Check my pinned comment for a free gift related to this video. And to watch my unfiltered reactions with exclusive bonuses, join my Asha Media TV Club. The link is in the description box below. Now, here's my afterthoughts of this episode of Supernatural.
Well, for starters, I'm glad Cass came back. They didn't do much with him, but I guess it's better than not being there at all. Lucifer escaping the scene was disappointing, but understandable. He has no vessel to possess, and so that's a future thing to look forward to, right? Now, this was a very nice surprise. In episode 14, there was reference to a global network of the men of letters. So, this obvious new storyline tying them to this location in England really got my attention. I love the thought of Sam and Dean traveling outside of the US and meeting other hunters. And, in this case, it seems they will be the hunted. That's darn tootin' exciting. Next up is this dilemma with God. As I had said in my review of episode 22, it's understandable that a fully powered God would render every other character around him as useless. So, in short, I think it's fine he was dying, and they had to find a way to balance things out somehow to save the world. But how it all played out was not as good as it could have been. I'll elaborate some more on that momentarily. And how can I forget what I think is the funniest moment in this episode? Crowley's reaction to Chuck and Rowena was hilariously priceless. Okay, please bear with me here. In my reaction, I acknowledged this nice moment of Dean validating Castiel's importance to him as a brother. But can you really blame me for also think this kind of scene seems very late considering Cass has been around the Winchesters for 7 fudging years? I'm sure you Destiel fans have a lot more to say on this, so feel free to share your opinions. Here is a sequence of action that was so much fun to watch. There was a lot of Ghostbusters vibes, and the visuals kind of reminded me of the original first movie. And the cap off with Sam and Dean gave me the feels of how much I love them as the badass hunters they are.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Okay, let me now briefly discuss the on-the-nose foreshadowing of the return of Mary Winchester. Thinking back to the finale episode of season 10, Dean's picture with his mom was highlighted a lot. And now, in this season, they referred back to that same picture, especially with Amara looking at it intensely. All of that makes me wonder if the showrunners were planning Mary's return for a long while. Was it a last-minute add-on they saw would fit? Because only a god could have the power to bring someone back from the dead without any particular consequences, as we've seen with demon deals and whatnot. If you know any trivia about the discussion of bringing back Mary, please share it with me.
Oh boy!
I honestly don't have much to say about the conclusion of the Alpha and the Omega. Essentially, they spent a lot of the episode building up to a climax that fell flat the moment Amara noted the bomb Dean had in his chest. On one hand, I completely understand viewers thinking it was a weak plot that didn't deliver much in the end. And on the other hand, I empathize with viewers that think it's clever how Dean used his emotional connection with Amara to help resolve her problem with Chuck. I guess you can say love, in some cosmic form, won out in the end. Personally, it's kind of a mixed bag because Amara just wasn't all that much relatable. So, it was kind of whatever for me. And now, here we are where Sam doesn't know Dean is alive, and his mom is back from the dead. Then this English woman shoots at him, and I'm left to think Sam is in danger. We've been shown a war amongst demons, amongst angels, amongst gods, and so I guess it makes sense for there to be a new war amongst hunters or men of letters people. The concept of it all seems cool, so I look forward to watching it unfold further. There you have it. I think this season was highly enjoyable despite the poor execution of the character of Amara. Heck, God finally showed up. But more importantly for me, personally, is that the majority of the filler episodes were good. Episode 13, Love Hurts, is the only one that I wouldn't rewatch again. All the other ones had some very interesting topics, and I think bold choices were made with the subtext, especially in episodes 7 and 8. I can already tell you right now, hands down, that episode 4 is my favorite of this season, followed very closely by episode 9. As for the cons, the main ones that stick out to me was the underdevelopment of Amara, and what I think is a misuse or mishandling of Castiel, and Lucifer once Chuck was brought into the picture. I'll leave the rest of the commentary about this season to you. If season 11 is one of your favorites, please tell me why. And if it's one of your least favorites, tell me why as well. I'm going to be generous with a rating of 4 for this episode, only because what they have set up for season 12 is undeniably compelling. I mean, the men of letters from England have beef with the Winchesters. That works, but now Mary Winchester is back. OMG, you know that's the perfect hook to get me to watch season 12.
Hey y'all, this is a separate recording that I managed to find the time and the quiet environment to record because it just hurt my heart to want to say what I gotta say using an automated voice that I have been in my recent review videos. Not really by choice, more like the only option I had at the time. So, in a nutshell, I'm not going to continue with my YouTube channel as a whole. If you have watched my videos that I had posted about having problems with the copyright stuff and with Bill C-11 here in Canada, that is likely going to pass. I mean, right now, it has already gone through the last stage before it becomes law. And if you're not familiar with that bill, please check on the links that I'll leave in the description box for you because you'll get all the information that you need there. In a nutshell, I'll just wrap it up and say how I've interpreted it and how most Canadian YouTubers have interpreted it is as our government's way of suppressing YouTube videos from Canadian YouTubers that are not centered around Canadian content. Reacting to Supernatural, even though it was, shot and filmed in Vancouver, does not count as Canadian content. That's a whole separate thing. So naturally, I don't want to put out videos on a platform where my government is going to have a say whether or not it gets found in the search results, or I'll be like, at the bottom of the list. I'm already a very tiny channel as it is. I'm already dwindling in subscribership because of the fact that I can't provide the kind of reactions most of you are used to on other channels. And more than anything, also, that is one of the biggest factors as well why I cannot keep up with YouTube, even if I didn't have Bill C-11 to worry with, and even if I had a gazillion subscribers. On a personal and professional level, things are getting busier for me. When I started my YouTube channel, it was because we were under lockdown. It was a hobby that I wanted to kind of test out. It was never intended to be anything full-time. I was not looking to become some mega reactor where I would be making full-time income on YouTube. That was never the initiative, and I had mentioned that in various videos. But because there is a large majority of YouTubers who do make a living reacting to stuff, it's understandable that for the most part, viewers would just assume I'm one of those people that's trying to be full-time on YouTube and what thereof. So that was never the case. And so this experiment really, that's really what it has been for me, I think has come to a proper close. And all the other factors that I mentioned before just confirms that it's the best thing I can do right now. Therefore, it's with a very sad and heavy heart, but also a grateful heart, I want to just put out a massive thank you to all of you who have been very sincere in your support of my channel, of my reactions, and you have actually subscribed and you've actually taken moments out of your day to comment wherever and whenever you could. Thank you very, very, very much. I'm mainly putting out my spirit of good faith and genuine appreciation to those of you that have been positive with your support and your attention to my channel and my reaction videos to Supernatural. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for watching. And maybe in the near future, I will be in contact with you again soon. So there you have it for the last time. I'm tuning out and peacing out. Goodbye.